Did you know that even though there are tens of thousands of words in the English language, you really only need about 3,000 of them to say anything you need to say? I'm teaching 3,000 words in 3,000 days. Stick with me and you'll get a new word every day. Why? Why? Why asks a question, but not always. Sometimes we use why as an interjection. We just, why, what a wonderful thing that you've just done for me. Why? And it becomes an interjection. Some synonyms for that meaning of why are oh, hey, or well. Why can be used as the reason. And if we use the word why as a noun, we mean what's your reason? What's your why? You've probably heard that before. What's your why? My why is that I want to teach. My why for doing these videos is because I believe that vocabulary is more important than grammar. Grammar is great and I teach it, but if you don't know your vocabulary, that's where people are not going to understand what you want to say, and you are not going to be able to say what you need to say. So my why for teaching vocabulary rather than grammar is that I think it's more important for non-native speakers to focus on their vocabulary development. So your reason, your motive, the grounds. Your grounds. This is grounds for, or this is the reason for, this is grounds for divorce. I might say that. This is grounds for divorce. This is my reason why I'm advocating this. Why also indicates a mystery. We're asking the question. Why can also be used as a relative pronoun, and we will get into that grammar in this video. So it can be used as a relative pronoun in our relative clauses. So first of all, asking the question, why did you decide to move to a new city so suddenly? I'm asking for a reason, and the answer cannot be yes or no. When I use one of these words, these interrogative words, I'm asking for information. So I want to talk just briefly about the intonation that goes into a question. All right, if I have this question, did you move to the city? I'm going to have my voice go up like this. Did you move to the city? When I hear the voice go up, I know the answer is yes or no. Okay? This is a key to comprehension. If someone asks you a question and you didn't understand the question, but their voice went da-da-da-da, you know you need to answer yes or no. You can ask them to please repeat the question. And this time you're ready to listen and you know the answer is only yes or no. This is going to help you respond appropriately. If I have the why, now the answer is not going to be yes or no, and the intonation is different. The intonation is going to sound more like this. Why did you move to the city? Now the answer is a reason. You have to tell me, oh, I got a job in the city, so I wanted to live close. You have to give me a reason because that's what I'm asking for with this word why. We can use it to explain something. Now, let's go back to the question for a minute. When I say, why did you decide to move to the city so suddenly? Here, I still have the verb before I have my subject because I'm asking a question. But if I say, that's why I always double check my work before submitting it, now this why becomes, it's acting like a noun. It's a pronoun. That is why. That is the reason. And now I've got my subject in a clause. I always, our adverb, double check my verb, my work, that's my object before submitting it. This shows that why is being used as a pronoun here. And I have then the subject, then the verb. It's the normal it's the normal sentence structure. I often hear non-native speakers say, That's why, and then they get confused because they think after why they need the verb. That's why do I always double check. But you only need the verb before the subject if you're asking a question. If you're explaining something like you are here, you have normal verb structure, subject, or normal sentence structure, subject, verb, object. We use the word why as an emphasis or to exclaim. Why, I never expected to see you here. Why, I never expected to see you here. This is mild shock. It's kind of old-fashioned. You might substitute it for wow. Wow, I never expected to see you here. We use why to mean for this or for that reason. She missed the deadline, which is why the project got delayed. So this why, we're using the word why, but it's not a question. She missed the deadline, which is why. You could just substitute, which is the reason the project got delayed. Sometimes I wonder why life feels so complicated, even when everything seems fine. Here, why is in a relative clause. I have here two parts of the sentence. Sometimes I wonder. There's our subject for the first part of the sentence, and here's our verb. Then we have our relative pronoun, and we have a new sentence. Life is our subject, feels, that's our verb. Then we have this is called a complement, so complicated. Even when, and then we have a subject again, everything seems fine. Notice this pattern, we always have a subject before our verbs. So let's talk about why being a relative pronoun. So when we have a relative pronoun, we need to have the antecedent. What does it refer to? It's usually a noun, and with the word why, it's going to be some kind of a reason or a clause or an explanation. Why replaces for which or for the reason that. We can just say the word why. And then it just takes the subject and then the verb. For example, I don't understand the reason why she left early. Notice we have subject, she left. The antecedent is the reason, and the relative clause is why she left early. She is our subject and left is our verb. This is the same thing as saying, I don't understand the reason for which she left early. But we would say the word why much more frequently than we would say for which. He couldn't explain the reason why the system failed. The antecedent is the reason, and the relative clause is why the system failed. The subject is the system, and notice failed, the verb comes after the subject. I could also say he couldn't explain why the system failed. If I say it that way, all I'm doing is assuming that you know that anytime I say why, I'm talking about a reason. So the opposite of why would be a cause or because. Because. The noun is why. What's your why? There's no verb. Instead, I would say ask. Ask is the verb that needs a reason. The adjective is, there's no adjective or adverb here. It would be, maybe we would use the word cause, causal. So cause is the noun, causal, and still no adverb.
I really hope that you enjoyed this word. Use it 5 times today, write it down, commit it to memory. And I'll see you in the next lesson.